Alright, Shalom, all praise to Yahweh, Basham, Yahweh Shai, the honest to the apostles at GreatMillStone, ruling well. This video here is going to be about learning the way of the animals, and I'm going to look up this word diligence. This video was inspired by the video Apostle Gabar did that I got right in front of me here, GreatMillStone mailbag, #386 order. And I'll just play a bit of it.
Okay. When I saw that helped to change my opinion of birds. And like I said, with the animals, you can learn a lot about animals, their different nature. Remember, their nature was given to them by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai.
Right, so, you know, we all learned from the apostles, so, you know, the spirit always sparks up something in your mind, man, and you know, we just flow with it. So I've got some stuff about a few animals which led me to some other lessons, but let me start with the scriptures. This is the book of 2 Peter's 2 Peter's 1 and 10, and I've got there already. So it says, wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure, for if you do these things, ye shall never fall. So the scripture is saying the keys to making your calling and election sure is giving diligence. Your calling is us being called to serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and the election is you know, you being of the elect, your position, you know, as one of the saints, man, as one of the elect. So I've already looked into some of this stuff, so I went down here and you got the word diligence. It's from the Greek.
Strong's G 4704 Spudadzo.
Right, so Spudadzo. And this is important stuff, man. And I'm gonna show you the examples in nature where right after this where diligence is shown, then I'll go back to the scriptures. This is diligence from this word in the Greek. It says to make haste, to hasten, make haste, to exhort oneself, to exert oneself, endeavor, give diligence. Exert meaning to, you know, to work, to use. It says from G710 to use speed, to make effort, be prompt or earnest, to give diligence, be diligent, forward, endeavor, labor, study. So these are parts of it: studying, laboring. And that's what we got to do in this work, man. We go to the camp, we labor out on the streets, we study, we put the shows together. I mean, what else is there to do, man? That's part of the job. That's the job. That's the job, man. Not cookouts and all of that. Which, you know, like Apostle say, if you get together, you have a cookout, whatever, man. But, you know, our main thing is doing this work. That's what Yahweh Shai did. When he was on the scene, he said to his parents, know that I am not about that, about my father's business. So that's what he was all about, bro. Anyway, I got this here. This is top 10 animal workaholics. You know, like that, you know, you got different animals with different characteristics. You know, you know, you got animals with, like, you know, like I said, man, you got scavenger animals, you got predators, you got, you know, they got the different characteristics, so you can learn certain things. You know what I'm saying? So, let me get to number 1. It says ants. It says, you can see the ant there. It says ants. If you ever had an ant farm, then you know an ant colony runs like a factory with, I don't know why that happened, with well-defined roles and responsibilities. And there's another video I want to do on that, about the body, because all our roles come together for one purpose, which is the work, the word. But that's another video, you know. The queen ant's only role is to reproduce, making her the sole producer of all ants born in a colony. A male ant's only job is to mate with the queen. And unlike the queen, who lives for 15 to 20 years, males die shortly after mating. All the other ants in the colony have specific jobs to keep it running smoothly. Worker ants are responsible for feeding and caring for the larvae produced by the queen, as well as keeping the colony clean, digging new tunnels, and a variety of other tasks. Foraging ants are responsible for finding food and bringing their finds back to the colony. So they're doing a lot of things, digging tunnels, you know, digging, finding food, you know, bringing their finds back to the colony. And this knowledge is spiritually known as food. The scripture says, "Man shall not live by every word alone, but by the word, but not bread alone, but by the words that proceed out of the mouth." So you see how nature can, you know, the Lord's blueprints in everything. And when you go to the scriptures, man, see the word has everything in it, bro. It's not like any other book. Foraging ants are responsible for finding food and bringing their finds back to the colony. In addition to these roles, some ants act as a security guard, scouting locations for the foragers and guarding the colony. You know, doesn't the scripture say that we're on the watchtowers? You know, if there was any trouble coming, what are we doing? We're warning. We're letting you know, look, man, what's going to come. So you can say we're like security guards, you know, and you got to put the scriptures about protecting the flock. See, a lot of scriptures are coming to my head while I'm reading this. It says, while ants might appear to be nature's nuisance, these tiny bugs eat dead insects, and their underground tunnels help accurate soil, making them a vital part of any ecosystem. So a lot of these animals and stuff that you see is part of the ecosystem, which helps the earth to run, the land, the soil. Which Esau, here comes Esau, he wants to destroy the animals. Okay, let me get a scripture and then I'll go back. 2 Corinthians. What did I want? 1 sec, give me a second. 2 Corinthians 8 and 7. Therefore, as ye abound in everything, in faith and in utterance, and in knowledge, and in all diligence, and your love to us, see that ye bound in this grace also. So it says, therefore, as ye abound in everything in faith. The scripture says faith without works is what? Is dead. So if you ain't giving diligence, you say, look at the story with Abraham. The Lord tested Abraham's faith by a work when he asked him to deliver up Isaac on the altar, bro. You know. So, these scriptures come together, you know. The diligence is the main part. Going out, doing your shows on your channels, going out on the streets, studying, you know, because you got to keep your mind active. You got to keep your mind flowing. There's not a point where you just read all the scriptures and then you just start floating in the air, you know. Don't work like that, man. You got to keep working. You got to keep on. Yeah, let me go to the next one. And I'm not going to go, there's only a few of these I'm going to go through because some of them bring up other points. Okay, you got the Beaver. You know, it says beavers, the saying busy as a beaver might take on an entirely new meaning when you consider how active beavers truly are. Considered nature's engineers. These long-toothed mammals are very adept and diligent about building dams in rivers or streams to create ponds suitable for their lodging needs. So, you know, you gotta be adaptable, man. The scripture says, flowing waters. So these mammals are adept and diligent about building dams in rivers or streams to create ponds suitable for their lodging needs. Beginning in late summer and into the fall, beavers begin preparing their homes for winter. They gather wood by using their tails to prop them up while they chip at tree trunks with their teeth. Once a tree is broken off from the trunk, the beaver breaks it down into smaller pieces that are more manageable to carry back to the location they plan to build on. And that doesn't take a day. You know, this is work, like this knowledge. You know, you gotta be able to endure through all seasons. You know, laying the sticks into the mud, they stack layers of wood until the dam is built. But a beaver's job isn't done once the dam is complete. It also works to dig out its living quarters, called a lodge, and stockpiles wood to eat during the long winter months. Although beaver dams are a headache for property owners that don't want running streams blocked, the beaver does provide a full service to other creatures like ducks and moose, which use ponds as a water source. You see that? So, you know, they build their own dams, man, by laying up the wood that they chop. You know, and what we're doing, man, that's like, you can liken it onto building. You know, we at the GreatMillStone, we're building blocks of the kingdom. We're building for the kingdom. Nine the builders, and and you know what, man, I might do a separate one on this, but this coincides with work. You know, and I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna sorry, Salat, man, my mind's flown somewhere. You know, I'm thinking about probably another video already. But that's how the spirit works, man, you know. Sometimes you gotta kick yourself up so you keep on top of things, you know. So let me go to the builders. I'll try to remember that. Lord willing, I can do another show. Okay, let me get rid of some of these. I read that. I'm just doing that so it's easier to manage what's going on here. Okay, I'm gonna get the dictionary definition of diligence. It says diligence, it says careful and persistent work or effort. Few party members challenge as an MP. You know, keeping on, like that D-Train song, and I remember Apostle Ricard mentioned that. D-Train. Keep on. Keep on. That was a bad cut, bro. That's a bad song, bro. It's a hit, bro. D-Train, you know. And even a train, man, it has to keep on. People ain't gonna get to their destination. Okay, I looked up the word diligence in etymology. So you got it in the French, which means attention. But you gotta pay attention when you're being diligent, man. You know, we had the example of the ants on the lookout as well. Not only do the working, but the looking as well. So these are all characteristics that you can incorporate, you know. Which we all know the dragon is the highest level of wisdom, which the apostles showed us through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And Lord willing, you know, we can go into that. You know, and there's animals that you don't want to imitate, you know. I'm just I was just showing the work diligence in terms of these animals, and like I said, you got monkeys and stuff and different animals that you don't, you know, toads, you know, you don't really want to, you know, certain characteristics you wouldn't want to imitate, you know. But that's another lesson. And this inspired me to do a few of these, so I'm gonna keep them on. It says, and this is from Latin, diligentia, attentiveness, carefulness. So I looked up the word attentive, and the first thing I got says paying close attention to something, alert, awake, watchful, wide awake. The scripture says we are of the day, man. We ain't of the night. We got our eyes open, man. Like you know that movie, The Eyes Wide Shut. Well, that ain't us. Okay. You know, observant, perceptive, acute. You got aware, noticing, heeding, heedful, mindful, vigilant, on guard, on one's toes. That's how you gotta be. You got these prophecies ticking off. The RFID chip, the mark of the beast. You got floods in Houston. You got things, atrocities going on. You gotta be on guard, bro. This ain't a joke, man. Things are popping off. You don't know what state. You don't know. You better be alert, man, because you don't want to get caught up like these fucking 2/3 and ghouls and goblins and spoons, niggas and spicks out here that are gonna get jacked up, man. They're gonna get caught off guard. They're not watching. They're not being diligent. Okay. Let me get one more example. This is a hunter, but you know, this is an example of working, you know, which are, you know, these female lions. You black women can learn a lot from this, man, because you don't want to, a lot of y'all don't want to look after your house, cook, clean, and take care, like do the task what is of the man. You want to be above the man, and, you know, which is all part of the curses, man. Because you ain't got no woman in the house. You got dragons in them houses, bro. Wild beasts in them houses. It says female lions are the working mothers of the animal kingdom. These big cats not only bring dinner to the table, they also nurture their young and often care for the cubs of other lionesses too. And you know what? I didn't really mean to bring it to but you can learn from that. The scripture says that ostrich gives sucks, but the daughter of mine, they don't consider. And I'm probably separate that for another lesson. Because you women ain't going, you ain't in order, man. You ain't doing what you're supposed to do. You ain't even dressing appropriately. A lot of you just want to wear high heels, miniskirts, and shake that thing in the club. Shake that thing, girl. It's a mess. It's a mess. Absolute mess. You want to run your mouth, but you're not even doing what you're supposed to do. So you're a mess. That's what the Lord's called these men. Okay. Now, I'm going to play a bit more Apostle Gabar, then I'm going to close up. Actually, you know what? Let me get one more scripture. I wanted to get Hebrews 6 and 11. It's Hebrews 6 and 10. For God is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have showed towards his name, Yehovah Shem Yahushai. In that ye have, so people say, oh, the name doesn't mean nothing, it's just the law. Yeah, we practicing the law and we're doing the work to show faith, to which we showed towards his name. In that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end. So that's you know, you gotta be diligent unto that, to the end, man. Watchful. It says, look, it says that ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises. And there's examples of animals that are slothful. You don't want to be that. You don't want to be that, man. Okay? You don't want to be that person.
And the scriptures have a lot to say about different animals. Okay, so that's my first example dealing with order. All right? Now, in the book of John, the 20th chapter, the first verse, it says this.
So, you know, I mean, that was the point. Hopefully it was edifying. You know, like I said, the apostles always inspired to do videos, and, you know, they are apostles, you know, that are heads. So, you know what it is. We learn the knowledge from them, man, through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And Lord willing is edifying. Lord willing, you know, we enjoy to the end, keep pushing. And, you know, I'll be back on the next show. With that, I say shalom.